Trades are broken. JxmyHighroller mit dem neuen Hit. Abfahrt.
Kyrie Irving, who according to Woj is expected to take his physical today in Dallas, one day after the Nets traded him to the Mavericks. The deal that ends 4 tumultuous seasons in Brooklyn for the 30-year-old Irving.
Oh my goodness. The Nets really just traded Kyrie Irving to the Dallas Mavericks. This is huge. Luke is finally gonna get some help. Kyrie is free. What?
CBC hat sich so gefreut, dass KD kommt, dass er vielleicht einen Ring bekommt. Warten mal ab, wie die Finals werden, weil Steph Curry ist ja immer noch in den Finals so, ne? Also aktiv. Aber er hat jetzt auf jeden Fall die besten Möglichkeiten.
What's Kevin Durant gonna do? He's trapped in Brooklyn with Brick Shot Ben. He's playing at an all-time level right now. How is he going to dig the Nets out of this one?
Breaking news. The Nets are not, they're no more, at least as they started this season. Kevin Durant is headed to Phoenix.
Well, that escalated quickly.
Ja, kurze Frage, wie sehr meint ihr, Ben Simmons hat da mit reingespielt, dass sie alle keinen Bock mehr auf Brooklyn haben?
In a matter of 72 hours, the Nets went from having 2 generational players and real hopes at a title to having Cam Johnson answer triple single himself. The Nets just went from legitimate contenders to a full-blown rebuild in literally 3 days. NBA trades are broken, and I don't know if there's a way to fix them. Today's video is sponsored by John with to get receive.
Vielleicht ist es ja auch verdient, dass er alleine ist, ne? Also was Ben Simmons da, Bruder. Ich habe kaum jemanden gesehen, der so krass angefangen hat in der NBA und dann so krass abgestürzt ist.
Great offensive talent, with one of the greatest players of all time, with arguably the most skilled player to ever
Sixers smash the NBA. Oder warte mal ab, Digga, Golden State, mal hol das Ding.
touch a basketball, and championship pedigree. You get 7 playoff wins, 2 first-round sweeps, and the biggest disappointment of a team in NBA history. And that's no exaggeration. This Nets team that has quickly came and went over the last 3 seasons is, without a doubt, the biggest flop of a team I have ever seen.
Ben Simmons größer MBC, die haben alle keinen Bock auf einen, der einen Schaden hat. Ja, das ist true.
3 generational talents in their prime, all teaming up in a league that was wide open for any team to rise above the rest. And somehow, this trio and then duo fell flat time and time again. The culmination of this ultra-talented 1-2 punch? Absolutely nothing at all. I was still reeling myself back in from the shock of the Kyrie Irving trade when news broke that Kevin Durant was being shipped off to the Phoenix Suns.
Also der Einzige, der nicht da abgeliefert hat, war damals James Harden, als er da ankam. Später dann vielleicht noch Kyrie Irving, aber auch der ganze Midcast von den Brooklyn Nets hat einfach nicht funktioniert, Bruder. Du kannst auch den Nicholas Claxton hinstellen als dein Hauptdefender.
Quite possibly the weirdest part about this 72-hour saga being that the Nets handed over 2 all-time great players for pennies on the dollar. Trading Kyrie Irving is one thing. At the end of the day, I get it. The man didn't want to be there, the writing was on the wall. Gotta get what you can out of the inevitable transaction. But Kevin Durant? KD, the Slim Reaper, you couldn't waterboard me into trading that man. You could dangle me by my ankles off the face of a 10-story building, mob style, and I'd say my prayers before trading away Kevin freaking Durant. But no, instead, the Nets opted to take what they could and decided that now is the time to start a rebuild.
Hast wahrscheinlich recht. Auch Hogwarts Legacy gibt's für mich erst ab April. Aber viel Spaß noch, Digga, und Grüße.
What did they get in return for the mega duo of Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving? Well, let's see here. Mikal Bridges, Spencer Dinwiddie, 2 solid players, a guy that doesn't play basketball, 2 future first-round picks, and 5 8th graders.
5 8th graders. Bruder, das sind, also ich glaube, es war halt auch sehr, sehr wichtig für Brooklyn, dass sie die Picks bekommen haben, ne? Weil die hatten halt einfach keine Zukunft mehr, Bruder. Die hätten Jahre da mit den gleichen Spielern gestanden. Da wäre nie mehr jemand Neues dazugekommen und sehr, sehr schwierig. Jetzt können sie halt wirklich, wie gesagt, als normales Team wieder anfangen. Alles fit, normal. Bei dir, Norm, wurde ich heute spackt Internet ein bisschen. Aber ist jetzt auch wahrscheinlich das letzte Video.
I mean, this is getting out of hand. At what point are we gonna come to the realization that a bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush? Especially when the bird in your hand is one of the greatest players to ever lace up? I get it, distressed asset and whatnot, but do you know how rare it is to have a player like Kevin Durant playing for your organization? There are teams that have never, ever had a player like Kyrie Irving or Kevin Durant play for their team. And not only did the Nets get, honestly, nothing out of these guys, they got little in return for these guys. Now sure, that's a whole lot of picks that very well could become great players in the future. But do you know the odds of drafting a player of Kevin Durant's caliber? Well, considering there's maybe 12 guys in the history of basketball that were better than him, I'd say the odds are slim to none.
Die Nets wurden so verarscht. Da hast du recht. Ey, ohne Spaß noch, gönn dir das Spiel. Das macht wirklich richtig fun, Digga. Hat so ein bisschen wieder Elden Ring Vibes, also nur vom ganzen Hype wieder da ist. Aber das Spiel sieht halt auch wirklich sick aus.
It's the classic 4 quarters for $1 transaction that we are seeing more and more often in today's NBA. In theory, this makes sense. I give you 4 quarters and you give me the $1. We both end up with something different, possibly something that works a bit better for both of us, and we end up with assets of equal value. Except, this isn't in theory. This is the NBA. One Kevin Durant is worth more than 7 assets that are significantly worse than Kevin Durant. In real life, I can just go and get another $1. But in the NBA, you can't just go and get another KD.
In Miami Heat, ich mag die schon lange, aber irgendwie habe ich das Gefühl, die kommen nicht aus ihrer... Klar, die waren schon in den Finals, nicht in den Finals, aber in den... Doch, die waren sogar schon in den Finals, in der Bubble. Die kommen nie über ihren Hump rüber. Da fehlt noch irgendwas. Irgendeine Kleinigkeit fehlt, Bruder. Eine Kleinigkeit, wirklich. Kevin Durant zum Beispiel. Wo jemand aus der Freundesliste als transphob beleidigt, weil ich das Game spiele. Oder alle Leute, die sowas sagen, die sind hängen geblieben, Bruder. Und die sollten mal in die Psychiatrie sich einweisen lassen. No joke, Bruder. Wenn du Leuten verbieten willst, dass sie irgendein Spiel spielen und weil sie ja sonst das und das sind, Digga, sollen sie sich einweisen lassen. Meine einzigste Antwort darauf.
In the NBA, the $1 is vastly, exponentially more valuable than 4 quarters. And yet these trades just keep on happening. Take a great, proven player and get cornered into trading him for multiple assets that may or may not add up to the value of that one player. And this, my friends, especially under these circumstances, rarely pans out. But of all the takeaways from these 2 blockbuster deals, I think the biggest realization that I've come to is just how bad the Timberwolves have railed themselves with the Rudy Gobert trade. Because you could...
Den Clip habe ich heute Morgen auch gesehen. Was ist das? Oder warum spielst du den Bounce Pass, wenn dein Kollege genau neben dir steht?
Argue that...
Was ist das denn? Wo geht der Bounce Pass hin, Digga?
How bad the Timberwolves have railed themselves with the Rudy Gobert trade. Because you could argue that the Timberwolves gave up...
Wenn ich Hogwarts Legacy irgendwann habe, werde ich so der nächste Voldemort. Das bist auf jeden Fall nicht der Einzige. Ich gehe den richtigen Weg. Ich werde einen Gryffindor. Die holen Kyrie, wo jeden Monat ein neuer Skandal hat. KD, einen neuen Skandal hat KD, wenn ihn was nicht passt, weg will und Harden was zu der Zeit fett... Bruder, hau dir mal bitte ein paar Kommas da rein, wenn du sowas reinschreibst. Oder ein paar Emotes oder so. Zu Houston gekommen und hat Basketball verlernt.
Up just as much for Rudy Gobert as the Suns did for Kevin Durant. The Timberwolves thought they were trading 10 dimes for $1, not knowing that Gobert was actually a counterfeit bill. So did the Suns get a great deal, or did the Timberwolves get fleeced? Well, it's a whole lot of both. And I've thought about this ever since the Gobert trade went down. When a player like Rudy Gobert can command 5 players and 4 first-round picks in a trade, what can a truly great player command? In retrospect, and even in that moment, the Gobert trade was so bad that it crashed the NBA trade market for half a season. But now that we're back on track, you can still get your hands on star players. It'll just cost the next decade of your franchise to do it. Regardless, these moves are good for the league. Luka finally gets the help that he desperately needed, and the Suns get a crucial piece that could put them over the top for a title run. I mean, this whole time, the organization has been racking their brains trying to figure out what they need to get back to the finals and have a real shot to win it all, and the answer was staring them in the face all along. Just trade for Kevin Durant. But looking back on the failed experiment that was the Brooklyn Nets, I think the most disappointing part is that we never really got to see the full potential of this duo. It always
Da bin ich genau der gleichen Meinung. Da war so viel Potenzial drin, wir haben es leider nie gesehen.
felt like right when they would gain some momentum, something would happen. Durant would get hurt, Kyrie would stir up some controversy. The basketball part of things was always good. It just felt like compared to all the other distractions, there wasn't a whole lot of basketball going on between these two simultaneously. In fact, out of the 4 seasons and 280 games that took place while Kyrie and Durant were on the Nets, they only played together 87 times. And that is a basketball tragedy. But I'm interested to see how the Suns look with Kevin Durant. I anticipate they'll go on a run here and make a push for the top seed in the West. Come playoffs, if they are healthy, I think they're capable of taking down any team in the conference. And now that the Mavericks have strengthened their backcourt, I am hopeful that Kyrie Irving has been rejuvenated and we can see him and Luka at full strength. And, rip the Nets. I guess it was good while it lasted.
Rip.
I can't even say that with confidence.
Nee,
Let me know what y'all think. Who won these trades? How does this change things for the Mavs? And how does it change things for the Suns? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, until next time.
Warum gehen denn die Videos heute so schnell vorbei? Chat, das wird immer schlimmer mit meiner Internetleitung. Ich ziehe jetzt durch. Tut mir wirklich leid. Ich wollte echt noch eine dicke Reaction-Challenge-Session mit euch machen, aber das funktioniert einfach nicht. Es tut mir wirklich leid, ey.